Hello, good morning everybody. So I hope you are having a good morning. Today we'll start off with the EURUSD as usual. So as I said yesterday, this was supposed to be a good sell. So far that's exactly what has been happening. The price has been our way. It has kept on moving to the lower side. Yesterday we wanted price to retrace back up to this level, which of course it did. So if you are there with me yesterday, you actually saw that I sold this on a real account yesterday. Actually picked a sell from this point here. I had my stop loss there, and then I had my take profit here. So as it is now, this is still a very good sell. We still expect more sellers to come in, but then we don't expect price to retrace back up to the upper line. Instead, it may only come back up to this level here, because this was the support which was broken. We had the first retracement. So if price pulls back up, then this is the correct place to sell from. This is going to be the correct place to look for a sell from. Our stop loss is still fixed there, and our take profit is around 1.0477. So technically EURUSD is still a sell, but only if price comes back to the level which I've mentioned, and that level is none other than 1.0905. Our stop loss is above 1.0970, and then our take profit is at 1.0477. So we'll move forward to the next symbol, which is GBP/USD. GBP/USD so far is supposed to be a sell. The price should continue to the lower side. We expect price to proceed even lower as long as it remains below this zone here. Remember, this was the exact place we sold from previously. We actually had price coming back slightly towards it before it embarked on a move to the lower. So this is still a sell, and that sell should take us up to this support. I want to color that out so we're able to see that clearly. We actually expect price to come back up to this zone there. I'll mark this properly so that we have a support, a support, a support. There was a bounce. There's a move to the lower side. We expect price to continue up to this level 1.241. So this day today and possibly during the course of this week, you still need to expect more sell. But then there's a level here where price needs to clearly descend below this one. This is a very good support that price must first of all break below before you continue to the lower side. Something like this. We want price to clearly descend below that level, retrace back before we can pick the next sell up to this point here. So generally we are looking at a sell, but only when price goes below this level and then retraces back is when we're going to look for that sell. So we'll sell there, have our stop loss here, and then we'll have our take profit at 1.2141. We move forward. USD/JPY here. USD/JPY is upwards, actively upwards. So this one I don't recommend any sell whatsoever. I don't recommend looking for any sell. The trend here is upwards. Therefore, the only trades you're supposed to be looking for are actually buy positions. So you wait for retracements up to key levels, the ones you can identify on this chart, and then you buy it after it has retraced up to those levels. So I'm only going to look at one level, which is at the very top, this resistance here. This is the resistance where price needs to break above first before it retraces back, so that we can continue looking for buy positions. So this buy is only valid on the 4 hours, and especially if price can go above this level. If price does not break above this level, this should still be a sell. So you wait for price to go beyond 108.45. Price must first of all break above, retrace back, then you continue buying it up to the top, which is there. So generally, the reason I'm saying that you're supposed to buy only up to this point is because we actually have a sell on the weekly. So the buy which we're seeing here may not go above 109.27. So if you buy it here, ensure you take profits there, and that should be the same place you're looking for a sell from. So we'll move forward. We'll move forward to our next chart. And before we move on to the other symbols, I want to say that if you are that person who trades gold, if you trade gold, silver, or any other CFDs, then you can now enjoy trades without being charged what is known as swap. So swap is basically the amount of money you're charged for holding trades overnight. You may have seen that already, that if you have a commissions account, there's this option here. We have swap, and then there's a commission if you are charged commission, and then we have swap. So swap normally could be negative or positive, but then in this case normally it's always negative. So this depends basically on the pair you're trading. If you are trading a particular pair, then the spread may be different from the other pairs. But normally, as from my experience, sometimes it's very good positive, sometimes it's negative. So you want to avoid instances when it's negative. And that is why FreshForex has actually deleted that. You no longer will be charged swap. If you're trading CFDs, you'll not be charged swap amount up to next month, 11th of next month. That is October, this month, sorry. So you have the chance to trade without being charged anything up to 11th of this month. So we'll move forward to our next chart, which is SP500. Before we move forward to SP500, I also want to mention that SP500 moves the same way with Euro USD, therefore mean USD-JPY. Therefore, if you'll be looking for a sell on USD-JPY, you better be looking for the same trade on SP500. So this chart, these are the levels we want to look for. This is a good zone, and then we also have a line at the very top, which is here. So technically the price must first of all close above 2988.7. Then we'll wait for retracement before we can continue looking for a buy up to the next level, which is at this point here. There. So this should be a very, very good place to buy from. Wait for a break above, a retracement, then you pick a buy up to 1319.4. We'll move forward to the next symbol, and that should be Brent oil. So far Brent oil has been bearish. You keep seeing price continuing to the lower side. We want to see exactly if the price should continue downwards or we now expect some changes. So far Brent oil has been downwards. Sorry, we have it there. Just look at what happened after this gap. The price has filled the gap which we saw from last week. The gap which we saw last week when price closed there and then opened above has actually been closed. After 2 weeks later, we have price closing that gap. So what this means is that the price may likely continue upwards or reverse immediately to the upper side. So you better be looking for positions. Be sure to look for, if you see a very good buy signal, you should pick a buy now. If you see a very good signal, you can as well pick that sell, because we've already filled the gap which you had previously. But the reason I'm remaining with a sell is this. Just look at this here, and then look at this from the bottom. We are somehow approaching a very good support. Therefore, this could be a very good place to buy from. We had a resistance. We also had a resistance previously, and then we had a support. Then we had a support, and then we had a support. Sorry, we had a support. So this basically means that if price bounces off from this level, we'll expect something like this. The price should continue up and even break above the upper trend line before it can continue to the upper side. I basically recommend a buy here, but it may not be the best buy, because chances are the price may break below. So if that happens, that instead of price reversing to the upper side, it actually goes below this level, then we'll simply wait for retracement before we can continue selling it up to the next level, which is to the lower side. So this means that we still have some waiting to do. We still have to wait for price to give us the clear signal. Either it should break above or it should break below, so that it can continue to the lower side. We move forward to the fun part, whatever I was talking about gold. So as I said from the beginning, you can now trade gold swap free. Swap free means without being charged anything for holding trades overnight. So far gold has been bearish, the price keeps continuing to the lower side. If you check one now, first, the price actually went below the level where we wanted to buy from, this one. It actually went below and even closed lower. So what this simply means is you need to wait for price to come back up to this level. Do not look for a sell now. We've already made some good move to the lower side. So the best is to wait for price to come back up to there's a level here which is significant. We have a green candle in between red candles. This level here could be significant. So if price bounces off from that level, we look for a sell. But if it successfully continues to the upper side, then we are going to look for a sell from the top. So we'll sell here, we'll wait and sell there, or we'll wait and sell from the top, which is there. So the two levels here or the other one. I hope this makes sense. And with that trade, you are now free to hold trades. You can now hold the trades overnight without being charged anything. The amount of money you charge for holding trades overnight is actually some small commission. It's called swap. So with the new promotion from FreshForex, will you not be charged anything like swap. It's absolutely free. So thank you very much. That should be the end of today's market overview. If you have any questions, or if you feel that I need to look at any chart other than the ones which I've looked at, kindly feel free to inform me under the chat option. I'm live online, so feel free to open any question. I'll be able to respond as fast as I see the questions. So thank you. See you.